What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kinda Funny podcast. I'm one of your best friends, Greg Miller, alongside the producer / seducer, Nick Scarpino.
I made the fatal error.
Here we go.
I made the iced coffee, but I didn't put enough ice in it. So now it's just watered down warm coffee.
It looks like
Warm
tea.
coffee.
It
looks like
Did you use the iced coffee button?
No, because I don't have any faith in that button.
It just puts it out at a mid-range temperature.
Maybe
rather
I
than
should
hot.
start doing that instead.
But I've just been chugging this. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna when you're gonna introduce the rest of the guys, I'm gonna hop off and get some more ice and come back with maybe a snack for everyone.
Make it for like 2 minutes. Introduce us for 2 minutes.
I know,
3
right?
minutes.
All right, here you go. All right, I'm having over here, the Hispanic heartthrob, Andy Cortez.
Good afternoon, everybody. Now, I made the fatal error, Greg. I stayed up way too late playing Pokemon last night.
Whee!
Dude,
Did you catch them all?
No, man. I kind of gave up on am I going to do that or not? Like, is my life goal at the end by the end of this? Oh, you didn't leave, Nick.
Yeah, you got up and left.
Oh,
and
I have
you came
people for
right
that.
back. Joanna or Boanna?
Good Anna.
Go in.
Go in.
Go Anna.
Go Anna.
Just
Anna.
went and got me some ice.
Anyway.
I want to call it Goey.
Goey! That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
That's a
should.
great
real
nickname.
good.
All right, here's what I need somebody to do out there, everybody. All right, this is gonna be tough, but I think you can do it. One of you is some kind of web developer. I need a .com that is Joey good or bad? But when I go there, I get to click yes or no.
Just
so
you.
all day long we can do it, and then at the end of every day we figure out if she is
And it's
Goanna or
happy
Boanna.
or
You hear this, Joey?
If none of
We
this
just
makes
turned
sense
your
to you,
bad
you need to
news
watch
good news.
You need to watch the pre-show.
Because when you're good, you get Goanna, a.k.a. Goey.
Go, hey!
You don't like Goey?
But you're bad. You're Bowie.
Joey, does it bother you that I asked you to give me some ice, and the second you left the room, we just started talking about you?
Does it bother me? Yes. Am I surprised? Absolutely
no?
not.
God,
It was
no.
good. It was good though. You're being good, Joey.
So somebody make it is Joey good or bad.com, but only I can have access and I get to vote every day when she does. It's like putting like when you go to when you go to a cool coffee shop and they have the tip jars, but it's like vote if you like peanut butter cookies or chocolate chip cookies, and you put your money in. That's what
yeah.
we're doing. We're putting tokens in.
Yeah.
See, I like that though, but can we make money from it? Make them have to pay.
Sure.
Because I like that's the most
Here's-
important
Well,
part.
just make
Perfect,
Greg
great.
have to pay.
So here's what
I like
you do.
that too.
You do it.
Do I get all the money?
No. Is
Andy gets
Joey
money.
good or bad.com, and then at the Patreon tier of I don't even know bronze.
Joey, what's your
you
favorite
can come
number?
view. You can come on and vote if Joey's been good or bad.
Number result in me getting more money.
I mean, if the number lines up with our number, yeah.
375 is my favorite.
That's a miss.
1,000.
Usually people pick between 1 and 20.
yeah, that's a. What's the origin of that?
I don't know. It was like the first number that popped in my head.
She wishes there were 10 more days in the year.
What's your guys' favorite number?
13?
13, Taylor Swift, what up?
6.
I would say 6 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys fucking see over the weekend? Taylor Swift liked one of my tweets. No big deal.
No shit.
No big deal.
She likes everyone's tweets, too. She has people
Fuck
that like those
you.
tweets.
Trust
What-
me, it's
what
been
tweet
years.
does she like?
I've been out in the desert.
You think
of Taylor
you
Swift
think
likes?
you
all right?
were the
It's
whole
been
weekend-
years since I got a fucking
The
like
whole
from her.
weekend you were suckling the Taylor teats. You were suckling the Snyder teats. Get out of
Snyder.
here, dude.
Snyder.
Get out. What's up? What are the
Sorry
teats?
that I'm brave enough, Andy. I'm brave enough to like the things I like, unlike you. You sit on the fucking sidelines and wait to see if something's popular.
Taylor, please like me.
You sat over there like, is Pokemon going to be a big deal this time around? Well, now I'm a Pokemon fan.
Everything was Nick. He knew what he wanted to
Yeah.
do, but then it just went Snyder. Snyder.
They both have 2 tits, man.
I get it. So there's
That's how
4
human
tits
anatomy
going around.
works.
You only have 2 heads.
Yeah.
First off, you guys, all your face is gonna be fucking red when the Snyder Cut drops with HBO Max Plus, whatever the fuck.
Is her face gonna be red? It's gonna be like, oh no shit, that's what's happening.
It's gonna be so good. Can you
I-
guys?
I-
Are
hold
you
on.
gonna eat the words you said about Batman v Superman? I guarantee he will, ladies
We'll
and
see.
gentlemen.
Guys, he'll have to reform an opinion, even a worse one. If like I didn't think this movie could get any worse, but an unfinished effects movie is way worse.
Dude,
Guys,
I hope
how
they do
little, how fucking little on the spectrum of like, do I want to do this? Do I fucking despise doing this? Did Ben Affleck want to put out that tweet? There's not a chance in fucking hell.
what did he tweet?
He gives a shit
He did
about
the
any of
hashtag
this.
release the Snyder Cut.
Oh, he doesn't give a fuck.
Like they all did. Gal Gadot did it as well.
Gal's
They-
in though. Gal loves that.
I can tell Gal cares, but like Ben Affleck, there's not a chance in fucking hell he gives a shit about this.
What
cut.
is the deal with? By the way, everybody, Forbes 30 under 30, aka the best baby
Tim.
blues,
There we
aka
go.
at Tim Gettys. So what is the deal with Ben Affleck? All right, because like I don't know anything about him. Right, he was Batman, great, that was cool. And then
all
it
I
seems like after that, or in the middle of that, Did he have an alcohol problem?
Yes.
And it blew up his marriage. And
think
then he
it's
stopped
before a lot of
acting.
that.
And he stopped talking to Kevin Smith. And then he stopped doing other movies. But then he popped up in the reboot of Kevin Smith. And then he's got a new thing with Janina. And I just can't keep up with Ben Affleck.
The Kevin Smith thing, from what I
Where's he been?
understand, was because Jennifer Garner did not like Kevin Smith very much. So evidently, she didn't like him, and
So they didn't hang out.
They just stopped hanging out. And Ben got super popular as well.
He's kind of afflicted.
But he was already popular. I mean, remember when I would say his height of popularity was when he was getting ready to marry J-Lo. And during that, him and Kevin were still close. So I don't know if they had a falling out if it was the Jennifer Garner thing.
I
And
remember
Kevin
him.
Smith, the Sony podcast, I can't keep up to figure out where I need to go to get the
I
information.
think
He's much like us.
I feel like when he was on Rogan, they talked about that a little bit because Rogan asked him about he's like, how come you don't hang out with Ben anymore? He's like, well, I just think that he I mean, you know, Kevin's like the most politically nice person ever. He's not going to talk shit about anyone.
Oh, sure.
But I think he alluded to the fact that he was not
'Cause
really
what-
welcome in the house.
I didn't realize anything was amiss because I remember when he got cast as Batman, Kevin was the first person I saw publicly talk about this. He saw the Batsuit and it looks fucking rad. I didn't see anything was publicly amiss until an Instagram post in the lead up to Jay and Silent Bob reboot where he talked about Ben Affleck and thanked him for answering the text, making it sound like they hadn't talked in a while, and he texted him out of the blue, and then they finally started talking.
Well, I think also that they were not friends from like back in the day. They became friends when he cast him in Mallrats.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and
it
he
wasn't
slept on
like
his
he
couch.
was
Yeah.
boys with him like he was with Muse.
Sure.
It was just
I
they
didn't mean
found
to
this
say.
guy and he was like, oh, he's cool, and they had worked together. And then he did Chasing Amy with him, and
Yeah,
that's when they became, I guess, really good friends. But beyond that point, it's not like they go way back. I guess it's relative because they
Sure,
do
yeah,
go
but
way,
they're
they do
not
go way
childhood
back.
best
But
friends.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So I mean, it's not like he went through all the trials and tribulations with Muse, where he got him off of fucking heroin.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
meth,
I've read all
whatever he
that.
was
I've read
on.
all that.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to say this joke because I don't think it's very
just
funny.
say it, bro.
fucking
But I just want to put it out there just so y'all know what I was thinking. I was thinking, does Jason? Oh yeah, were they friends with Jason Muse's brother as well? His twin, Mewtwo.
Oh, dude. It's Pokemon on the brain. Pokemon on the
Muse too?
brain, man.
Mewtwo's.
Used to.
Mewtwo's.
This is a good joke.
But I didn't want to say it.
Good joke.
I mean, I think sometimes you got to trust that first instinct. You know what I mean? A lot of times you're like,
Thanks,
should I go
guys.
talk to this girl? Should I not? Like, you just should have. No,
Thanks,
you shouldn't.
Snyder
You shouldn't have
Cut.
done that. It's okay.
Snyder Cut,
This-
though.
yeah, what about it?
Talking about it real quick.
Yeah.
So I know that you're super jazzed about it. I know many people seem to be jazzed about it. I'm not jazzed for it for the sole reason that if it were to happen, inevitably we're finally going to have to do DCEU in review. And that means we're going to have to watch Justice League twice.
Fuck. All right, great point. Unless, it really fixes it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure.
Can you imagine? Can
But
you
I thought it was
imagine
a
it's
great
like we
movie.
have to watch them all and then somehow the Snyder Cut fixes it all? And it's just like, wow, that was all fucking
We knew
perfect.
you understand where you were going this
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah,
While we were
yeah,
in this
yeah.
dark
Yeah.
tunnel, we were going to get to the light.
My favorite though, to this day, will still be the unboxing video we do with Makuga, and I don't know where he goes. Man, this is gonna be a controversial take, guys, but like, I think DC really dropped the ball with that. The most obvious thing in the world.
He was drunk as shit. We were
Yeah, it
very,
was
very drunk
great.
after we
It
were
was
cool friends,
great.
if memory serves.
was great.
I'm sorry, are we interrupting you, Nick?
No, sorry.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kind of Funny podcast each and every week. Usually four best friends gather on this table, each bringing their lives to the table to talk to you about them. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can submit your topics for the show. You can get the show early. You can get it ad-free. You can get it live. You can get it with the pre- and post-show. If you don't want to give us any money because you don't think we're doing a good job and don't want to support the business, I totally understand. Very much so. You
I
can
don't
instead,
agree.
you can, I respectfully disagree, but cool. You can wait till we put it all up as one big video and one big MP3 Fridays. Of course, there's no pre and post show. Of course, you get ads. Of course, it's not live. You don't get any of the benefits, and that stinks. And you shouldn't be a stinky person, right? Cool, Greg?
Right.
Thank you. Housekeeping for you. Thank you to our Patreon producer, Kieran O'Donnell. Today we're brought to you by Movement, Felix Gray, and Quip. But before I tell you about any of that, Andrew Feinster writes in
Are we doing it?
to remind you of Andy's question, what reptile would you want to be furry?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to need Barrett a list of reptiles. Because I hate this shit where you got reptiles,
There's only like
amphibians, ugly people. Which is which?
Here's why
Is a catfish a fucking reptile?
I want to
Why
let you
would
know.
it be?
I want to let you know.
It's
what
ugly
my,
as fuck, man. If you've ever
I think
seen,
it's a fish.
you ever stop there, you're sitting there in bed at night, right?
Yeah.
You stroked your wiener real good. You're sitting there getting ready to drift off, and you think about that first fish that walked out of the water and was like, oh, fuck Darwin, Like, that fish mid-transition is a catfish. And that was so. Next time you think of a chameleon or a fish, think of the catfish. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't understand what you were saying.
The reason I thought of this was you know how Twitter loves showing you people's tweets that you don't follow or even know or give a shit about, but they love showing you when your friends reply to their tweets.
Yes.
And I know you can mute that stuff, but it's a whole to do. So this one guy posted a photo, random guy posted a photo of like, hey, should I buy this? And it was like a chameleon or something. And then our friend Steven Suptic replied to him and said, don't be a lizard guy or a sword guy or a snake guy or a horse girl. Simple life rules. And I thought, lizard guy might be weird, but what if it was like a furry kind of soft lizard? And then I thought, man, I really want reptiles to be soft and furry. And immediately I
You think that would fix the problem?
I think it would, yeah. I think
It
that would
would
make
not.
them more appealing.
It would make the reptiles more appealing, but they'd still look weird. I'm going to give out some. We're talking about life rules and help here. And again, you've heard my stories on this fucking show.
Tell them, Greg.
Fucking Pokey 1, Pokey 2, turtles, my hamsters, my fucking
get 'em near your
gerbils and
nose,
shit.
bite your
I had
fucking
a
nose
goddamn guinea pig, all these other bunnies and shit. Hey, Mom, I want a pet. Get a dog or get a cat. Do not get anything in between. There's no reason. There's nothing else. You don't want to be. Hey, I got a ferret. Fuck off. All right?
You don't want to be fair.
Make up your mind. I got a sugar glider. Shut up. You're weird.
Well, I had some friends
I got
back
some
home.
birds. They're just going to shit all over the place. And again, I grew up, my mom got a bird.
Bird people are weird.
Dad loved the bird then. Nobody wanted this fucking bird. They all tricked themselves into it.
I had some friends back home that had ferrets.
Yeah.
And their house always smelled like
Exactly.
shit.
If you don't like do something weird, you gotta remove some kind of gland on them. I'm not making this. If I'm lying, I'm dying. They will fucking stink all the time.
Yeah,
You know
it
what I
smelled
mean?
bad. But a lot of it was just like the container it
sister
was
had
in and
ferrets.
shit.
Naturally.
I remember this. I remember going to Mizzou. This moron would wear a snake to class. And you're goddamn right. The snake
You
got off his.
wear a snake
It would
to
wear.
class.
He'd bring his pet snake around his
Oh,
neck, and the
fuck that
motherfucker
guy.
got on the ground. A whole bunch of people freaked out one day in a giant lecture hall. This happens
I just
because you
love
don't need
that.
to bring this. Like, here's the thing: God bless / cursed the canine species with all manner of good dogs and bad dogs, fucked up dogs and normal looking
Wolves,
dogs.
those
You know
big
what I
wolves,
mean?
man.
Get a pug all shoved together. Get a bulldog fucking painful. Not even supposed to be alive.
We're not talking shits about pubs.
I'm just saying. Snow Mike knows I'm not throwing shade.
He realized as he was saying, "Oh no."
Shit.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying that.
I'm
right?
just saying. There's a lot of fucking weird looking dogs and good looking dogs and
Sure.
cute dogs and like so at no point do you need to sit there and be like, you know what I need to be even more weird and normal and crazy and have fucking people look at me and go, that's the guy. I'm gonna go get a fucking giant chameleon. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get a kimono dragon, ride that to class. Like, get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. This has been Greg's rants about animals.
So you're saying
I'm not clear
in
on what
general,
the point
I
is.
think the rules are if you want
a pet, get a dog
pet,
or a cat.
Get a dog
normal
or a
thing.
cat.
Right, Cool Greg?
Well, Cool Greg likes.
Cool Greg wants a snake.
You want an octopus, Cool Greg. See, that's different.
Why is that different?
No,
Greg?
that's not.
Because at no point does somebody say, I'm going to walk my octopus. I'm going to bring my octopus to class.
What about the
You
octopus
gotta tell
that break
me-
out of the tanks?
That's awesome. At that point, when they get out and they escape, you got to be
deserve
like,
it.
you know what, man? I'll put you. Where do you want to go?
Touche. You guys want to drive to Dairy Queen? Yeah. You can tell me right now. We walk outside, right?
Yeah.
The temperature cools down a little bit,
fucking hot
and
today.
Larry down the road decides to take his fucking pet iguana for a walk on
Yeah.
a leash. And you see that thing walking down the street. You're gonna tell me you don't want to rush over to that thing and pet him and play with him?
100%. I don't want anything to do with that fucking thing.
Nick, what are you telling me?
I fucking think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I never want a reptile because I don't like having other shit in my life that I have to take care of. I just find it needless and completely overly complicating your life. Because then you gotta have someone take care of your fucking iguana when you're gone. Like, what you gonna do? Have someone come to your house and feed the
Feed it
fucking
crickets?
That's dumb.
If
But
I got to feed it other live things, come on, guys.
I'll say this: there was a time not so long ago where we were trying to figure out if we could get a giant snake for KFAF to scare Greg. And I
I would be
think
scared. Grab it, bite its head off.
I think it was either to scare Greg or to scare Andy. It was maybe it was to scare you.
Yeah,
Oh, it was for
And
the box.
That's what it was. It was for the box. We were gonna make you.
Instead, you put my head in the
touch
box
your-
and scared Andy.
That was much better and way cheaper. But I said to Cool Greg, I was like, if I get you a giant anaconda, will you take care of it? And he was like, his eyes got so big. And then when we didn't end
With
up doing
terror
it, he was-
or like
with excitement.
anticipation? Okay.
He was super excited. I was like,
Slytherin. Yeah.
exactly, right? And what were you gonna name
Nikiti.
it? Cool G, what were you gonna name it?
Nikiti.
Lamborghini, right? It's gotta be
Yeah.
it.
Lamborghini?
Yeah, Lamborghini. Lamborghini Countach Harry Potter is his full name. You psychopath. I'm with you, man. I just think like I love dogs. I've had dogs growing up. I had cats growing up. I talk a lot of shit about cats because they're terrible, but whatever. But the idea of having even a pet in my life right now just seems very overwhelming. Because like I see the joy that Portillo brings you, but then I also see that it's just another thing you have to think about when you want to live your life. And to me, it's like
Goanna gets them. It's great.
I think.
Well, I don't have Goanna. I don't think I could make her stay at my place and watch my pet.
I don't make her do it. I just say if you don't do this, there won't be a job for you next month. It's simple.
Well, literally remove your desk from the office. You can work outside.
If certain reptiles were cute and furry, or just furry, period, they would make them a lot more appealing to me. It wouldn't do anything for the reptile necessarily. Right. I guess we're calling it a mammal now. I don't know. Like, does it change it?
Like what's the qualifications there?
Well, no, I guess warm-blooded and have fur.
Eggs, yeah,
warm-blooded rather.
You know, yeah.
There's still reptiles in this situation.
Still reptiles. Okay. Like whenever I see videos of like a little cute snake, like baby snake with the big eyes, and somebody like runs its finger over its head, I'm like, yeah, but that would be so much more enjoyable for me if I felt fur, like like I was petting a dog.
Yeah, but then it'd be so weird when the snake molts and like the skin comes off and you just have furry pelts everywhere.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is the furry reptiles. I get the idea that you're coming from here, but I feel like they'd be most similar to, and I know this is going to strike fear to many people. No, the tarantula.
Oh,
you're taking a thing that's not supposed to be furry, making it furry.
Makes it scarier.
It's fucking scary.
A furry
the fur
snake
is not nice.
Would be terrifying.
And the furry, and it's gonna, that's the other thing too.
Can
like,
you look at furry reptile?
They're gonna be filthy. If you have a hairy snake crawling through the dirt, and you know what I mean, it's gonna have shit and fucking ticks and all sorts of shit living in its fur.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be good.
I guess so.
Automatically go to ticks.
What about like
do you want a tick?
What about like a big iguana or a chameleon? Chameleon, I think you're cute. When they're just walking really slow and just kind of like
in like
eyes.
Pixar CG form, they are.
Yeah,
that's an iguana, isn't it?
No,
that walk like this with the weird eyes. Chameleons are small.
Right, maybe.
No, I think chameleons, they look like iguanas, don't they? But they're smaller.
I saw a great photo of the internet about like
gecko.
You know, when dinosaurs freeze or whatever, like what the bodies present when they're preserved in ice or whatever. Hair doesn't get, it doesn't stay with them over the years and millions of years or whatever. But so there's no way that we can't prove dinosaurs ever look like this. And it was a picture of a brontosaurus just and on its head just like long hair, and it looks so stupid.
Tim, I don't think this has the results that you were expecting.
I'd like to see these results. There we go.
Oh,
furry
reptile. That is a different.
Oh, I
furry.
love it.
Wow.
Look at the top right one, the reptile bear alligator.
This guy?
Why are there so many drawings of furries?
Because it's furries, like, you know, when people dress up as.
Yeah, I know, but
the
fact that people draw them makes it extra.
There's
weird.
a lot of deviant in the deviant art community.
Great.
Lizard Gremlin has high self-esteem. Listen up, fives. A 10 is speaking. Wow. Okay.
I'm not seeing any deviant art links here.
Yeah, but these all look like they're stolen from there.
Definitely. These are someone's OC.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like the big fucking iguanas. They would just feel a lot like.
Give me a big fucking iguana.
When they're.
Thank you.
A lot of times their owners have them draped over their shoulder, on their chest or whatever, and I think that'd just be a lot more, fun to hold if it was you could run your fingers through its long fur.
I like the way they feel because it feels like a hairless cat.
Jesus.
That thing's terrifying.
Look at this fucking guy.
I was down in Mexico one time for my buddy's bachelor party. And
Whoa!
We stayed at this place called Villa Las Iguanas, something or other. And I was like, I wonder why they call it that. And everywhere you looked, there was like a iguana would just peek around the corner and be staring at you. It was fucking freaky. When you're drunk, you're like, this is terrifying.
Oh,
is that Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Oh.
Look at this motherfucker, dude. He's about to get his fuck on.
Is he doing a Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park?
Man, I love it. And look, this is like him. In a couple days, is gonna be that guy. Yeah.
So here, look at this one.
Look at that.
Yeah, I was gonna say iguana attacks owner to let her know. I want to see more about that information.
Wait,
that is a muni. That is down there too. That's a muni bus in San Francisco with a motherfucker with an iguana. Someone brought a big iguana on the end today. Now that thing, I mean, come on now.
Imagine furry?
Yeah, it's even worse.
No.
It's weird claw things.
No.
Dinosaur face.
No way.
Horrifying.
No way.
Give me iguana attacks owner to let her know. Lipstick and keep
That's scary, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is definitely some taboola shit.
To let her know what? Jesus.
She let it sleep in her bra like a baby.
Oh.
Why?
It's pissed off.
Scroll,
go up.
We were going past the article.
Maybe
right?
she's
She can sense my weakness and instability, so she's challenging me for alpha.
That's when you take her and just crack her on the fucking table.
Whack, whip it with the
How
tail.
you feeling right now? Which one do you think is dominant? Whack.
You know what would be
which one
really
has the tail that comes off?
Lizards.
Yeah, I think most lizards do, right? Certain
lizard.
lizards. But that would be another weird kind of conundrum, right? The tail falls off. It's just like a little
hairy-ass
furry.
tails?
Is that what is that? Like, and it's moving around still.
Oh, Andy.
When I think about furry reptiles, I think about like hamsters, you know, and like guinea pigs.
Sure.
Where you just think, why do these things exist?
Sure.
What's eating the like? If we weren't taking care of these things in
Gerbils.
like in our homes, how do they survive out there? Where there's
Well, it was a different time back then with like the big trees and the long grasses. You know what I
Sure.
mean? That before we came
Sure.
in with our urbanization.
I guess I would like to. Yeah, I think to myself, is there any world where those animals do exist outside of people's
They
homes?
definitely do. There's
Yeah,
definitely like
Peru.
ground faring like
Remember
In
Metal Gear
Peru,
Solid 4?
Guinea pigs are big there, right?
Yeah.
There's a shit ton of guinea pigs running around Peru.
yeah, there's guinea
That's
pigs
so-
everywhere.
That's so weird to me.
There's
Guinea
wild
pigs.
stuff.
This is going back to last week's topic of Batman masturbating and edging and
Jacking
all
it
of that. Our friend that does the edging thing, he used to have guinea
He's
pigs.
your friend. Chill
He,
fuck out.
he used to have guinea pigs, and this weekend he sent me a picture from San Francisco near the Muni that just says "Stay back from edge," and he just replied "Can't." And I'm like, I haven't responded to him in years. You just keep sending me edging pictures.
RP Lightning, RP Scrubs.
Yeah.
Sucked.
Yeah, Jen's mom had a guinea pig for a long time who just passed in the last 6 months.
Oh, no.
Named Madame Bijou.
Uh-huh.
Weep, weep, weep. That's what Madame Bijou would say. Weep, weep, weep. That's the guinea pig noise they make, you know.
You kind of nailed it. They did that in Metal Gear Solid as well.
Yeah. What's wrong with is your eye starting to go again?
It's my other one, man.
Are we starting to get fucking
This is the
more
end of it
weird
all.
ass Tim eyes?
Tim, just wear the glasses. This is God's way of saying you can't wear contacts.
I'll never give up. Trust
I
my
know.
instincts.
I know.
At what point do you say I'm gonna get LASIK?
I can't.
At what point can
Why
I
not?
just make my
My
life?
eyes are damaged.
Oh.
This is the fucking
It's
worst
so-
thing in the world. I would.
It's weird
In
to
an
me
instant.
when I sit down and think that some people's eyes just don't work well.
Yeah.
Like it's weird to me as somebody who has good vision.
Great vision.
When we were when we were on Extra Life, and you were here with Gia, very very drunk, and we won't talk about
I
the
wasn't
events
here.
that
I
transpired.
wasn't here.
Yeah, you weren't here,
Through
but
podcasts.
there was something up on the screen. And you're like, I don't have my glasses on. I can't see. I was like, wow, that's so. I always forget that
It's a thing.
it's a thing. It's
a real thing.
Like people can't see sometimes.
There's highly dysfunctional
it's
people.
so bizarre to me.
Here's what I'll say. This is kind of a non sequitur, but stick with me.
Okay.
You know how like Steve Jobs, genius guy.
Yeah.
Would-
Loved eating fruit.
Loved eating fruit. Would just wear the same outfit every day, so that was one less decision he had to make every day. He had
Right.
one fewer thing he had to think about every day. Andy, how much better would this office be if we just changed Tim's name to Greg and we just treated him like Greg and he was just Greg? So there was one. We could just pretend there's one fewer person in the office.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I guess, but then it would be, well,
And that way you could,
Who gets paid?
real Greg could just come in half the time. And then other
That's
Greg
true.
can sit in your desk and then that's it. We're done.
So we're gonna have
but
cool
that's one
Greg,
less
good
person
Greg,
for-
and bad Greg floating around. That's what you want.
Yeah, why does he have to be a bad Greg?
Boanna,
He
Bim.
doesn't pull pranks on people.
Wow, I don't mean like on your
He
personality.
doesn't call Joey a childhood name that has scarred her
First
for life.
off,
Breg.
it was gonna
He's
break.
good, Greg.
That news was gonna break regardless. All right.
You're evil, Greg, for sure. You're like dirty Superman in Superman
Superman
2.
3.
I
That's
do
right.
think there's one less person for Games Daily, though. That's kind of a big issue. You know?
No,
I
they still-
didn't do this, but like for some reason in my head I thought it would be funny if I just got really angry, said "fuck you guys" and just went. I just have to go to the bathroom, but I just walked. How confused would you get?
We wouldn't believe you.
That'd be, I wouldn't
I don't
believe
think
you.
so.
I've never seen you get
See, I
angry
feel like
in
I
your
can
life.
sell it though.
You think so?
No. Try it.
Give
Try
it
it right
to
now.
us.
Give it to me.
Act
No,
me
I'm
now.
not doing it.
Just
Come on,
act. Emote. See if that's how soft you did it.
Bitch.
You fucking pussy.
Turn around, eat him alive. That's why he can't be evil Greg. Do you see what I'm saying? He doesn't have the fucking hate in his heart like you do sometimes.
That's true, I guess.
And I respect it. I'm not saying it's like a bad thing.
Oh, I know.
I think you got to have a little hate in your heart to exist in these days. That's
true.
why we keep you
That's
around.
true. Yeah.
That's my sole job here.
I had a reoccurring nightmare that I always have. And it's not even considered a nightmare. I wouldn't even call it
You had
that.
a bad
but it's
dream.
just something that gives me anxiety
Okay.
to the
Yeah.
max.
Give it to me, dog.
And it happens every once in a while where in my dream, I was stressing out about having to drive from Texas to California.
That was a long drive for you.
Because it was but in my dream, this wasn't the first time. This is just one of those things I had to prepare for again. But in the dream, you know, things are happening where, you know, the activities are being had. And I knew that, like, I should probably leave right now. Do I have everything? Because I know the first stop will be in New Mexico, like I did last time.
Sure.
But what if I get
Breaking
there
Bad
too
house?
late? Yeah, exactly.
Did you go to the Breaking Bad house when you drove through?
Nah, it'd be
No?
cool. Pizza on top of the roof.
Why
still
didn't you
there?
do it?
I don't
Because
know.
like you're a big fan.
That's a good point.
Okay.
We got cool guy. Yeah, we'll do a road trip. Damn.
Should I go with her?
Jealous.
Apparently, the owners of the place are like very not fond of.
They're like, stop coming here.
visitors. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they should have thought twice before they let their
Before they
house
bought a
be in
meth
the-
house.
Yeah.
But anyway, I always stress out about that, and I always have that reoccurring dream. And it was funny because this dream referenced a prior dream that I had where in a dream prior that I was stressing out about the same sort of thing. There was like something that had happened in there, and I thought about like, oh well, the power goes out in LA at this amount of time. And it's just stupid shit.
Sure.
But that's always like one of my big stressors. And it's not even a nightmare. It's not a big monster chasing me. It's stuff like that. It's also like school starts, and I don't have anything
Yeah, you
ready.
haven't done your studies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my question though: do you think? And I don't mean to blow your mind here. The dream you just had, where you're like, oh, and it references a dream that's had before. Do you think you really dreamed that dream?
I'm pretty sure I have.
Because I've definitely had it where I'm in a dream and I'm like, oh, this has happened before. I'm like, wait, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
You
you
guys
just
have way more complex dreams than I do.
Yours is just what?
I had a
Sexual
nightmare.
experiences
I had a nightmare the other day where someone handed me a baby, and I was like,
And they're like,
"Do I have
this
to
is
take
yours
care-"
now?
I'm like, "Is
This
this my
is yours
baby?" That I did it, and then I woke up. I was like, "Thank God, thank God."
yeah. It was
Not that I
one.
don't
Yeah,
like
it
babies,
was.
but-
I just always have that same reoccurring nightmare. But
Nick,
that's a
Nick
great
with
point.
a baby is like the season of Mandalorian I don't want to see.
I was at my jiu-jitsu gym the other day, and the owner of the gym has a kid, cute little baby, and his wife was taking
fuck it
pictures
up
and stuff, and she goes, "Here, hold my baby," because I was like, "Okay, I don't know what to do," so I'm just like, and the kid's like looking at me, and I'm
Holding
looking
him
at
by the head.
and one of the girls in the gym was like, "Holy shit, do you have a kid?" And I was like, "Why did you say it like that?
Yeah.
Like, is that the worst thing that you could possibly imagine right now?" She goes, she's like, "Oh, that's so and so's kid." I
Oh,
was like,
thank
"Yeah, yeah."
God.
She goes, "Oh, thank God." I was like, "What? Like, I'm this fucking horrible human being that can't have a child?"
Well, yes, you are. But secondly, it would be that knowledge of you, and then seeing you holding a kid all awkward, like that kid's 4 months old. You don't know how to hold it yet.
I mean, they don't do anything. They just, they just hang there for a
Dude,
minute.
we were at lunch and we saw this guy crossing the street with one of those front baby packs on.
The one where the kid looks dead.
This baby was just, I mean, it's not even a baby. Like, it looked.
It's a solid 1
It was
year, 1 to 2 years
sizable, man.
old. Yeah.
And it's just kind of like bouncing around. And this guy just head down, just walking like
I
he
hate
He
hated
my
it.
had a day. That was a day he was having.
It was great.
I don't know. It's not that not that I'm against the kids. Here's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
You think you have a child one day, right?
Sure.
You're thinking about that, right? And you go to yourself, I got 2 options for people that can take care of this kid. Bad Joey or Uncle Nick.
Yeah.
You can tell me you're not going to think about at least like what it would be like if
There
the kid
is-
spent a couple days with Uncle Nicky.
What it is, you're all wrong about it, right? Is that, and Joey's already told me she's down for taking care of Portillo forever, but never a kid. What you're talking about with Uncle Nick, right, is the tipping point of how old the kid is. When the kid's like
17.
oh yeah, fuck yeah, I want to party with Uncle Nick. You know what I mean? That's the thing, is eventually you get to where it's just going to be fun times with cool Nick. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Where it's like, that's great. When it's like the kid needs you for everything, that's a huge problem.
The thing is this, let's see, I'm almost 40. So if you had a child next year, I would be 56 years old when that kid turns 16. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's a perfect age.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, that's like baller Nick, let's jump on a private plane to Vegas. And then
Wow.
your son's like, no, let's just stay here. And I go, that's much cheaper. Yeah, let's do that.
Well, it's because he's gone before and he knows that he can't go to any of the gambling things
Yeah,
with
that's
you.
fair.
You
That's
just
fair.
leave him somewhere at some
Good
show.
point. Here's some quarters for the arcade.
Would you be more concerned, Greg, about the like age 0 to 6 or the age 7 to 16?
I'd be more concerned about 0 to 6.
Yeah.
Because it's that thing of like Nick having to like take care and change diapers and feed it and and it can't communicate its needs or whatever to him. You know what I
figure
mean?
it out though.
See, I feel like
Google,
Nick can
once in
figure
a while.
that. You can YouTube that stuff. You can't YouTube like how to like be around somebody.
I think I'm excellent around kids. I'm appropriate around children. But occasionally, I'll just pull like a 7 or 8 year old aside and be like, "You're being a little bitch."
Nut up, man.
Shut the fuck up.
It's time to be a man.
Nah, I'm joking. I don't do that shit. That's
I'm
fucked up.
appropriate around children.
I'm very appropriate around children.
Yeah, you're respectful.
with kids.
for sure.
I am.
You're respectful.
So I was like, I am. I would worry about me a lot more if it was age 16 to 18. Because then I'd be like, what's up, dude? What you been doing?
Somebody's got to treat him, like a human being. That's definitely what 56-year-old Nick would do.
I mean, I would definitely shame and pressure them into doing things that they don't want to do.
Smoking yet? You want to smoke? I'll buy you a pack of cigarettes.
cigarettes?
You
want Uncle Nick?
Yeah.
And they're like, why? I gotta smoke a cigarette. The kid want to smoke a cigarette. This is for a cigarette.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, no, you don't need to do any of that stuff.
See, I think when we start dressing you up in this like a horrid future where you're like that bad, it's just us really thinking of what Matt would do with the child.
Now, Matt, my brother's a different story altogether.
How so?
Because he has no boundaries.
Yeah.
So he would just think it was completely appropriate to do everything, like drink, smoke, whatever. And your kid would you come back a changed person forever.
Yeah.
Where I would be like, there's got to be a line. There's a line, My brother thinks it's hilarious to push that line. Just kick that line down the fucking field.
Sure.
Yeah.
The line's the eyebrows, apparently.
Yes. The eyebrows down, man. Like your kid would come back hairless. And you'd be like, why? Uncle Matt says
This is what he said
body hair
I
is
do.
disgusting.
We were going to the water slides. We needed to go faster.
We needed to get a little,
Yeah.
We needed that self-lubricating body.
Exactly. Yeah. We rubbed paper on ourselves and shot ourselves down the
My
tube.
brother used to be so into tanning that when he was skinnier, he used to be so into tanning, which in and of itself is a weird thing to me. It's just weird. Okay.
It's weird. I think it's really weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's fine if you do it every once in a while, but there are people that are just really into it. Like when I watched that documentary about steroids, and that guy was just really into tanning.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is a weird dude.
Yeah.
But my brother used to love that because he used to be skinny and like in good shape, and so he'd like take a shirt off and go outside. We're in Southern California. He would like sit by the pool in his apartment complex.
Yeah, I think sitting by the pool is like what, but like
But he used to like to get his tan on, but
Yeah.
he would never use sunscreen. He would always just use baby oil. Jesus, he was glistening. It looked like when you look.
Oh my god!
When you look behind the counter at the Taco Bell / KFC and you see the chicken that's been in there for probably a little too long.
Yeah, it's like leather.
That's what it looks like.
Ugh.
And he would do it, and he would be like, "Come on, let's go tan, man. It's good for you. It's good for your skin. Good for your like vitamin D." Meanwhile, I am very overweight and very self-conscious. I'm like, I'm not.
Well, I mean, like it's more skin cancer for him. You got to worry about, right? With all this, like
He was not worried about it. He's fine now, though. I think he still likes to just sit out there with the shirt off. Oh, he loves it.
Yeah.
He loves the feeling of the sun on his skin.
Right below Nick, I think on the list of kids babysitters I want to see in action is Cool Greg.
Oh my God.
Cool Greg, at what age would you want to hang out with my child? Like, when does that happen where you're like, the night needs you and you whisk them away?
Man, I don't know. I'm actually a little worried about this dude having a kid because Gia gives me a lot of passes, but I think them passes are going to get like less and less.
Sure.
Once I got something,
She's gonna
watching or
revoke them
whatever.
all.
I don't
It's
know.
like I wouldn't want to see it because it sounds really bad,
I
but
hate
it's
to
not.
see
I hate to see it, but I couldn't be too mad if like one day out of the blue, Tim and I had kids, not together, but separate children, right? And then one day, like very much like Batman Returns, we woke up and went in the rooms and they were gone, and there was just a spray painted message from Cool Greg, like, I'm gonna take them for 5 years, we'll be back. And then it comes back. And what did that look like when they come back? Cool Greg and his like not gang, but his like group. You know what I mean?
Okay, Cool Greg, if I may speak for you for one moment, please. They would be very stylish.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They would have a cool look that you would never ever be able to understand, but you would just know it's cool, even though you can't really describe why it's cool.
Sure. They'd have their own language.
They would definitely have their own language, but they're gonna have their own language anyway because they're kids.
Sure.
They're gonna like by the time we're all 50, kids are gonna be saying
This kid's not going to school?
That shit was spoon. And you're like,
I mean,
what does that fucking
when
mean?
Cool
What does
Greg
spoon mean?
And again, I don't like saying abducts, but when Cool Greg, takes them
Borrows.
under his wing, you know what I mean?
Cool
I
Greg
don't know what he's doing with them.
Is gonna give them an education
In the streets.
in the streets.
Hard knocks.
Hard knock life.
Yeah.
I do think, I'm pretty honest when it comes to shit. So I think I would be like little 8-year-old, Timmy Jr., Greggy Jr., or whatever. Be like, hey guys, I'm a real piece of shit. I don't want your parents getting mad at me. So like, y'all gotta be fucking cool about everything. And I think I wouldn't come at them in a place where like, if you're not cool, I'm gonna get you in trouble. So
Yeah.
I think they'd actually be cool.
But here's
Sure.
how it's gonna work, right? Is that you're gonna babysit. The kids are gonna snitch on you because kids are stupid and don't understand the value of lying to your parents until much later. And then they're gonna say, they're gonna go, Daddy Greg, Daddy Greg, Daddy Greg, Daddy
Oh,
Greg.
I have to call on him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, little Greg.
Uncle Cool Greg took me out and he smoked a cigarette in front of me. What are you gonna say? You gonna say, "Oh, thanks for telling me, kid," or are you gonna look that kid in the eye and be like, "Snitches get motherfucking and just stab one." Prison rules, bitches.
You take off a mask and it's been you all along. It's Uncle Nick. No, you failed the test.
Well, the kids are so short they can't tell the difference between anyone anyway.
One thing I think I've mastered is, obviously anti-snitching. Come on, stand up for yourself, all that shit. Call the goons, not the cops. But besides that, I think for myself, you looked at my Twitter, I snitch on myself a lot. So people expect it. So I make it a little easier, So when I do fuck up, these kids are already going to know what's going on.
But here's my question: How do you run that gambit of telling your kid to tell the truth, but also not to snitch on people.
Well, here's my idea on it, right? It's just like I don't really think anything they would do is be snitching. You know what I mean? Like reporting Cool Greg smoked a cigarette. I'm like, yeah, Cool Greg smoked cigarettes. You shouldn't. What? You know what is? I'm not gonna go yell at Cool Greg.
All right. So
is that gonna be a line for Gia and you? Or what is Cool Greg not allowed to smoke in front of the kid?
No.
So one of us.
I don't know.
So one of us.
Don't smoke around the baby.
Yeah, don't smoke and blow it in their face. You know what I mean?
So Greg Jr.
But Cool Greg's hanging out a cop car. He stole smoking his cigarette. I'm not gonna get mad at him for
Right,
smoking.
he's somehow driving even though he's in the back seat. And you're like, how does that scene work? How does it work? Who's driving the car? It's a Dark Knight reference.
Heath's in the back. It's not him driving.
Who was driving
It's
the
one
car?
of his goons. He's got goons.
He looked like he was driving.
It wasn't. No, he's
Would've been
very
cool if
much.
he was driving. Does he not know how to drive?
He's also on the wrong side of the car
He's like
to be
10. He
driving.
just lets everyone drive him around.
Yeah.
No, he was on the right side. He was in the back side.
Passenger.
In the driver's side seat. That's why I thought it was so.
Passenger.
He was not on the passenger side. Bring it up.
Thank you.
I always wondered how he's driving the car because it looks like he's in the back seat. I could be
Do
wrong.
you think this baby would be a nice little prop to make me look less like suspicious?
Sure.
I think, and I'm going to say this to you right now, and I know it's. I'm going to mean it as it's one of those times where I'm looking at Tim. I'm going to mean it as a compliment, and you know he's going to take it as an insult, right? I think you're a lot more stand-up guy than you think you are these days, and I think that you have a perception of yourself that is no longer the case. I would trust you with my kid. I would especially trust you with anyone else's kid.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So I picture you walking down the street looking like you are right now. If you have a stroller, I'm thinking that dude owns a business. You know what I mean?
That dude
Like-
owns a business.
You look like the guy that owns the mink place down the street. It's like he's all hip-hopped out and like looks like he's trying to make money, but you know that place is going to be out of business in about 10 days.
So is that a
It's been
compliment?
together for a long time.
The guy looks like he's cool.
Well, that's why, like, when I always think that Cool Greg looks like a younger version of Christian, who used to own Wing Wings
Yes,
and now
he
owns
does.
SF Chicken Box.
Yeah,
because like
he's-
that's the same thing. Yeah, they
Yeah,
got
you
the
look
same
like you look like a business owner that started something because you're passionate about it, and it went crazy.
Like you own a taco shop.
Like you know
you
what
don't
you
sell
should have.
tortas, fuck that
You
shit.
should open a like high-end, super bougie, only open like once a month paint shop
Hey, man.
that only sells like cans, but like crazy colors you can't get anywhere else.
It's kind of funny. Sorry, we got those pens, right? I'm trying to next level markers.
I'm just telling you,
a
man.
little
When this
paint,
company
we're
goes
gonna be
big, okay, when we cut the dead weight, you know what I mean? Like no one.
Wait,
in
I was
particular
it's just you and
Boom,
Cool Greg
boom.
now. Hey, where's Barrett?
Clearly.
Oh, okay, sorry, okay,
Clearly,
cool.
Someone's got it on the camera. We're gonna open up a small shop, way too small for what it is.
Okay.
Only open once a month, just like the cheesecake.
It's
place.
like a 5x5 room.
yeah, and it only sells one color a month, and we never sell that color again.
Get 'em.
And it's drop culture. You see what I'm saying? Is that what drop culture?
Drop
is?
culture, yeah.
Drop culture.
Nick's favorite fucking
One
thing.
paint can a month. As soon as it's gone, it's gone. That's it.
outta
Drop
here.
culture.
This is a genius idea.
I know.
I'm ready.
The
Don't
first one will
kiss his
be.
ass because you're on the team.
Nick's
Here's what we'll do.
Nick's saying
Even though,
drop culture.
even though Tim won't be a part of it, we're gonna call the first one Baby Blue Eyes. That's what the color's gonna be, and it's gonna be Tim's perfect color blue, but we'll never tell him.
So
down, man.
here's my question, Cool Greg.
Innovator.
I don't know what our plan is for January 5th. I assume we're trying to raise money to keep the fucking ship afloat. We need to set a milestone at some point where we do it just for a day, where like Nick goes out with Cool Greg and gives him like the makeover thing or whatever, and like try to make. I want to see, because you're asking like, you know, if the baby would make you look, you know, more professional or whatever, right? I would love just to get one outfit together and try to like we put up a list of jobs on the wheel and spin it, and like how do we make you look like SF State philosophy professor, right?
Yeah.
And then Nick and you run out and you buy the outfit and get a haircut and come back and we see what happens.
I'm ready, man.
All right, cool.
So, real quick, to go off of what you were saying about how, or you guys, that I'm different now than I was.
Yeah.
I was just on Cheeks Jr., friend of the show. You know,
Yeah,
my
of course.
guys. I was on his podcast a couple weeks ago, and he was interviewing me, I guess, but it kind of felt like the interview part 2 of the one we did a couple
yeah.
years ago. And I really like realized in the interview moment, like, oh man, he's asking me about things I don't really even do anymore. Like he's asking me about like struggles I don't have anymore and all these things. Like I feel like I'm so past it, you know?
Yeah,
and
that's good.
It does feel like it's weird to like realize that. Like,
That's
oh
awesome.
shit.
Cease and desist to his podcast.
I'm gonna tell you, you went.
Well, does he still sell that horribly ugly shirt that was
Jesus.
one of my catchphrases?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which
Oh,
one was
yeah.
that?
Man, and it's the graffiti
We're all
style. You know
laughing,
me? I couldn't design it.
Yeah.
You went with Google? Come on, man.
It's bullshit, dude.
Chicks Jr. the worst.
Well, you got a little fuzzy.
Takes it. That's my mustache.
you went
That's
in
my
there.
mustache.
In there. Can you fast forward towards the car scene, Barrett?
Was it a boogie?
No, I think it was maybe. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
See?
he is driving
Who the
safe.
fuck's
He's
driving
not
car?
driving
There's
the
not
car.
There's no one in the fucking front
Look
seat.
at his other hand. He's not driving the car.
Who's driving the
There's
car?
clearly another head in the
There is
back.
not.
Going
You
back
can
and forth.
see through the fucking
Rewind.
I always thought it was him driving the car.
That's what I thought too.
I mean, that's
But how? He's not-
that's
he can't
not
possibly-
possible.
I always thought he was past.
But look,
really
you can see
tall.
there would be a head there. You see when
Look
the
at,
light
you can
shines through?
kind of see it. You can kind of
He's
see
a
that.
short
You
guy.
can.
Short guy.
That I hated
There's
that thing. I was like,
definitely-
who the fuck's driving this car?
All right, hold on. So look at it. Rock back. So you see the line right there. Barrett, move it over. No, that's the yeah. Okay, no,
See,
Barrett.
there's no one in there.
Barrett, stop trying to make my point wrong. Go left. Go up. Go. Oh, I hate you, Barrett. Go left. Go down a little bit. Down a little bit. There you go. See it right there. Now watch that line, everybody. See, back over, back in, back moving.
I see something.
Thank
yeah,
you. Greg Miller's right. There's no way to drive a car like that.
No, I mean, I know there's no way to drive a car like that, which is why I started this whole thing off with, how was he driving the car? There's no way to drive a car like that. To which you replied, he was on the passenger side. Now, I was right.
Yeah, you
That's
were right
clearly the
about-
driver's
yeah.
side.
You were right about that.
And then I was like, and then you
concede
said,
that
oh,
point.
there's got to be another person in the front seat.
You know, I was right too. So there we
And I
go.
was
We're
like-
both
I
right.
guess you know what? Because I saw
both
the
right.
Right
cool.
to right.
Let me have your kid.
You can have my baby.
I was thinking I watched the pirated version where it's just horizontally flipped.
It's big watermark over the front of it, trying to keep you out of
Police
it.
is spelled backwards.
Yeah.
It's just insulting to me that I have never once been asked to be a babysitter for someone's child.
Because you would say no.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah,
though.
I also
But I
don't
want
think,
that. I want, you know what I mean? I want the option to
I
say
want to
no.
be invited, you
but
know?
I don't think that's a common thing in your life.
It
at this
used to
point.
be, though.
Brendan.
Really?
would
You
be
remember
one.
when you like growing up, my parents had close groups of friends
Yeah.
that all had kids. And so we would, I guess they all had kids, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Now that I'm
that's
thinking
the
about it.
thing, and also like the people you know with kids are far enough away from you, where it just doesn't make sense.
But there was every once in a while, like I would, like my uncles would take care of me, and they don't have any children,
Yeah.
and I would just go hang out with them, and I always hated it because they had the knockoff consoles, like when we were on like the
Sega?
SNES, they had like the Atari 2600. I was like, you're like 4 console cycles behind.
This sucks, and
everybody.
your house sucks.
This sucks.
I'm gonna
This
shit in the
house
bed.
sucks, yeah.
They had a great house though,
Oh.
and a lot of cool dogs. One of them bit me,
What kind of a dog was it?
a German Shepherd.
Yeah, I got bit by a German Shepherd twice on the booty.
Yeah, my uncle used to train him
Different occasion.
for the police department. He was a cop.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
he's not doing a good job training them.
Well, they had to kill it. They had to destroy it.
you told the story before.
Isn't that sad?
Did
They had to
they
destroy
find
it?
out that it was working with the criminals?
They figured they were like they couldn't trust it beyond that point because maybe
Taped
it, was
it against
a
a wall rocket launcher. Why'd you say destroy it?
Mandalorian pasta. That's what they said. They're like we had to destroy it. I was like, what did you do to this thing?
We had to swallow a bomb just to make sure it never came back.
No, I was really. I told the story before, but I was really sad by that because I was like, oh, he like just bit me a little, like lashed onto my leg, and I was like, this doesn't hurt that much. A little iodine. I was
Bullshit,
fine.
you flipped out, right? You're a kid.
No, I loved dogs. To this day, whatever
it's like
reason.
pinned down, it's thrashing. I was like,
No, I was
playing,
like, I
Mom.
remember it like because I turned my back on it. Apparently, you're not supposed to do that, even though no one gave me the fucking crash course on what you're supposed to do when you enter the goddamn German Shepherd cage. But I went in and I was like, cool, all the dogs are here. Why am I in this cage? This is weird. And then I turned around, everyone had left me in the cage.
Is it like
So
Thunderdome?
I was like, oh, that's weird. And I turned, and maybe I hastened out of there, and I just felt it go whack. He just and like a German Shepherd's jaw is fucking
Yeah.
like. It's on there.
Yeah.
And I just saw my uncle come out like a fucking lightning and just like grab it and like pry it off. And he was like, get out of the cage. I'm like, what's happening right now? And then I look, and then I was like, I'm bleeding, but that's not that big of a
please
deal.
animate this next story of the calmest child ever to
What's
be bit
happening
by a
right
But
now?
like,
What
I
is
didn't
happening right
legitimately,
now?
I didn't
Papa?
cry. I was just like, what's going on? And then I heard later, I was fine. It didn't hurt that much. I was like, this is a kid. I used to jump off roofs. We had nothing to do in Riverside. We would jump off the roofs and throw rocks at each other. So this dog ain't gonna take me out. I'm living past this day. And then a month later, I was like, whatever happened to that dog? And they're like, oh, we had to destroy it. And I was like, why? And they're like, because I was like, what is it, like a shark once it fucking tastes human blood? It like never goes back. They're like, no, we just can't trust it. It won't like behave, do what it's supposed to do anymore.
See, that was a different time in law enforcement. Now that dog will get a promotion. You know what I mean? For
Well,
an
no, now
office job.
they hire all these fucking like little tiny cute dogs for the airport now, and they ain't biting anyone.
Yeah.
Little
Last time
did
we were
it-
in the airport, they had like a little beagle. I was like, this.
Well,
is
those are
the cutest.
bomb sniffing. That's not there to like take out children.
He's
The
still-
thing is
he's
that
still a
that
cop.
dog had the minority like report sense because it knew in the future you would be an offender.
Oh,
One
I got to
day.
take this thing out now.
Yeah,
Getting
like
ahead
right
of
now,
it.
get ahead of it. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Kevin got taken down by
won?
some dogs.
What's that?
Kevin got
When we were
taken
little,
down by some dogs?
Kevin got fucked up, and it was like it scarred him for a long
I
time.
bet if Kevin were here, he'd be like, no, that didn't happen. I fucking killed those dogs.
yeah, no, like this was like before that Kevin existed. Like he was.
is what
This is
made
what
that
made
Kevin?
this is Kevin's origin
honestly,
story.
this might be the origin story, but like I'll never.
Kevin just
forget
like
it.
he's in a cave and he just looks up and all the dogs start like hovering around him.
Yeah,
and,
I
like,
think,
they
I think
lift
it was,
him
like, it
up.
was 2 dogs that like just lived around thing, and they both just chased him down.
In the stories, you get pulled to the light, but they're just stories.
He was very small. He was a very small.
What
boy.
kind of dog
How
was
small?
it? Did he get
About
fucked up?
about what
the size
size?
of
How many
couple
bugs fucked up Kevin?
Couple pumpkins.
Double pumpkin.
I think it was
It was two
a
pumpkins
Doberman.
high. Oh, those are fucked
Doberman,
up.
yeah, they'll fuck you up.
Those are fucked
But
up.
man, yeah, it fucked him up and scared the shit out of him, and it scared me. Third party about hearing about dogs and hearing about him getting fucked up, and like he had like stitches and shit. Like it was like
What
it
happened?
was bad shit. He just got chased down by these dogs. They were just out and they shouldn't have been.
What was he doing? What was Kevin doing?
Yeah, what was he doing to these
No.
dogs?
He was Kevin totally separate
I like
from the
immediately
dogs.
we're on the dog side.
I'm telling you guys, this was a
Kevin
different
must
Kevin.
have done something. Baby
no,
Kevin
no.
definitely did something. He's like, oh, we bowled him into entrapment that has spikes on the ceiling.
No.
On the walks home from school, we always made sure to pick up rocks and sticks with us just in case. Because there was always like wild dogs out there and shit. And I was always like,
Did you ever find what? Did it ever happen? Do you have to defend yourself?
no, not in, but we were approached by dogs that weren't happy, you know,
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah,
were
yeah.
snarling and shit.
I mean, this unhappy with the current political system.
Yeah,
dogs
like,
are just
you know, like
walking around.
They'd, you know,
Not
they'd
happy
bark-
with their station in
They'd
life.
bark at
I
us and they
don't
weren't
like that,
behind fences or anything.
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
were pissed off and shit.
When you're a kid, dogs are terrifying. I remember
Yeah.
riding my
So-
bike down the giant hill and turning onto the street, just going around the block. But like our blocks are big and unincorporated, Glen Ellen. And there was just a golden retriever in the center of the street. Like, I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck's your problem? You know what I mean? So I like slowly backed away and it kept coming at me. And then it got distracted by another dog and I got the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then I've told the story before where I rode halfway up the hill and the hill was really big, like I said. And I was like, fuck, I'm winded. Maybe the dog's gone. So I turned to come back down and I fell off my bike and skidded down on my face and tore my face off. Had a huge raspberry on my cheek.
That's awesome. I would have paid to see you do that when you were a kid.
I was like, I'm gonna turn around and like you know how you do it and like the wheel goes 90 degrees
yeah.
and it just like boom, fat little Greg Miller skating down on his face.
Oh, stupid shit you do.
There was an epidemic in San Francisco in the like late 90s where there was this flock of birds that wasn't native to the area. This is a true fucking story. And there was a while where these birds would come and they kept attacking. I'm walking into this one. They kept attacking people with blonde hair. And I never got attacked. So.
But
maybe
this is
that
back
says
when you were wearing
something.
a lot
Well,
of
but
hats.
Tim, to get attacked, you have to go outside.
But the
Yeah,
birds
shit.
fucking got my brother at Mountain Lake Park. Because, yeah, it's those golden locks. They thought it was a little nest.
Sure, yeah.
You know? And it turned into a thing where it's like it happened a couple
Stupid
times.
fucking
And we
birds.
kept seeing these little kids were just getting attacked by these birds. And it turned into a problem where people found the nest of where these birds were staying. And it was actually by,
Take law into their
by
own
the
hands.
studio here.
FBI raid.
It was in the
It's like the end of it.
St. Francis Heights area, and some girl got fucked up by these birds because there was like 3 of them coming at her, and then people had to come and like exterminate the nest.
You gotta kill him.
Shotguns.
You gotta
Problem
destroy it. Destroy the birds.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie The Birds?
Oh yeah.
I imagine it's
San
like
Francisco.
that.
I think we watched.
Is it?
I think I watched that in middle school.
Area.
Okay.
It's I think some of it was Bodega Bay, which
Yeah.
is like up north, which I've driven through, which is really really pretty actually.
I
So
watched
you
it.
can imagine though, growing up in this area,
terrifying.
The Birds is one of those movies that everyone's like, oh, you gotta watch it, San Francisco or Bay Area, whatever. You watch that, and then there's these fucking birds attacking kids left and right. Not good math there.
That's
it's
crazy.
scary as fuck.
It was a movie I watched in middle school because our teacher was like never there. You know that one teacher that just never showed up, and we had substitutes every like 2-3 weeks or
Like
so.
it turns out they were getting like a horrible divorce that year, and you're
That's
like,
what I.
oh.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe health problems or something like
Maybe.
that. But
That's
like
probably-
we watched The Birds. We watched the movie, like the docu. Not mockumentary. What's the word I'm looking for? Where it's like
Documentary.
Documentary?
Mockumentary.
But it's a documentary,
Rockumentary.
but it's a fictionalized version of. It was JFK assassination,
Like a
but it's the one with
biopic?
Kevin Costner. Oh yeah,
JFK.
JFK.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, biopic is the word I was looking for. Yeah, we watched that movie. It was like, what are we
Back
doing in
into
this
the
class?
left. Back into the left.
Back?
Cool, man.
You know, I tried.
Good movie.
I know it's a great movie. I can't get through it. I
Never
tried
watched
watching it, and I was like, "This is fucking weird."
Back
It's all
when
ever since
Blockbuster,
weird.
you know, did the when it was novel at the time, but when they did the you spend $10 and you can rent as many movies as you want. I remember me and I think Poe trying to go through and rent everything. We did it with games the next summer, but with movies that summer. And I remember getting the JFK, and it was just like I can't
Rent
It's
every
two
movie?
cassette. Well, you know how it is. Just go down
Up
the
the new
line.
releases
You
or
just
whatever?
get-
Yeah,
no,
that's
not even new releases. Like I forget we
God,
started in
holy
like
crap.
whatever.
That is
The
insane.
history of film.
Oh, dude, I used to do that with Brennan and Ty when I lived down in San Mateo because we had a Blockbuster walking. We could just walk over to it, and we got so desperate to like look at new shit. We started going through like the Tom Selleck movies because he started doing a bunch of made-for-TV movies where he was some sort of weird cop, and they were just so terrible.
Remember when we rented Evil Bong?
Oh yeah.
What a movie.
That sounds like a weird movie.
Yeah.
Can I
hated
take
when
a?
teachers would show Tuck Everlasting Fuck that movie.
Oh God.
Don't know that one.
I don't know.
I don't know
I
that one.
remember
Let's talk
that.
Everlasting.
Okay.
That was a movie that a lot of my one of the I guess actors in the movie was kind of like a little teenage heartthrob, right? Because I remember all my cousins, like my female cousins, had a huge crush on. What was it, Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
JTT.
I forgot who Tuck Everlasting had. But
I
just
don't remember that either.
Remember them talking about this movie nonstop because it was kind of like, oh, never mind. Yeah, but
Alexis
they had a crush
Bledel.
on this dude. Yeah.
And Jonathan Jackson.
I'm Jonathan Jackson.
I'm Jonathan Jackson.
William Hurt in it? All right. So you were talking about your teacher that just was never there?
Yeah.
I think I might have told this story a long time ago, but when I was in 4th grade, about
Fernando?
three months into the school year, my teacher one day, it was at the end of class on like a Wednesday, just came and was like, "Hey, we're gonna read you guys a story," which is weird for 4th graders. But he sat down and he read Goodnight Moon,
Good night, moon.
you know, to 4th graders.
Good
though.
night, stars.
So it was all of us were kind of like, "What the fuck's going on?"
You're like,
He
you know, we
started
understand
crying.
porn, right?
He started crying as he's reading this, and he was just like, "All right, I'm leaving. You guys aren't going to see me anymore." And like, he didn't kill himself, none of that, but he just left. He's like, "I'm not going to be your teacher anymore," and he just left.
Was he super sick or?
And he just left.
You
No
know,
one else
to this
came
day,
in.
you don't know.
Well, so no one else. He just left the room.
How much
and,
time
like,
did you
we
have?
weren't out yet. Like
Okay.
it was not like school's out. So we're just like we all sat there for a bit, and eventually I was like, I'm gonna go talk to someone about this because it fell off.
Yeah.
And my mom knew the principal and stuff, so it was like we were a little closer than other people. So I went in. I was just like, hey, so this just happened. Whatever. They're like, what? They had no idea. And then it was just turned into this huge thing that years later I ended up finding out that he just like decided he was moving. He just left.
Did he
Moved
move
away,
with his 13-year-old
everything.
bride from your class?
Yeah, I was like, that's my first step. Is I was like, who did he bang?
I thought he was.
And they
about
just
to get
brought in
fucked,
another
yeah.
teacher, and they just tried to like play it off like it was all good.
That's
It was just
crazy.
like, what the fuck just happened?
If you ever tell that story again, here's how I want it to end.
Uh-huh.
And the teacher left.
Yeah.
And no one knew what to do. And then Tim stood up and said, "I am the teacher now." And then you taught the rest.
I liked it better of like, I was
year.
hoping Tim was going to stand up and be like, let's go wild. Just they all flood out of the room into the hall.
And also,
Yeah.
they wouldn't be 13. We were 9 years old. When
Yeah.
this happened.
Nick's version of it reminds you of like the origin story of the guy who did Firefest. How like, at a young age, like Tim took control.
took
of
control of
his
the class.
and he
He taught it the rest
Yeah.
of the semester.
It was a fucking weird thing, man.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
When you're a young kid and just like something that out of the ordinary happens, you're just like, shit.
Yeah.
Shit's going down, man.
We had a creeper teacher in class. Like you mentioned, you thought this guy was a creeper. We had a creeper teacher in middle school who was fired
For creeping?
being creepy peepee. Yeah.
What did he do? Touching?
No,
Looking?
there was
Licking?
a friend of mine
Spitting?
at the time.
Kissing?
He mentioned
Biting?
like pick up your. She was like, "Oh, look at my muscles, sir," and he was like, "Oh, lift up your shirt. Let me see what sort of muscles you got." Or he
To
said
a
something-
girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
And reported him, and then guy was gone. And we were
that,
like,
that guy
later
went and
creep-
started Net Video Girls. Never mind.
Is that
You
a
guys haven't seen
website?
that one.
That's
Okay.
definitely a porn company, I would
It's a porn
imagine.
house. Yeah, it's a porn.
Uh,
My favorite
like,
one
all
of
of them started like
my
that. Where it's
favorite
like,
one
oh,
of
you're
those-
going to be a colander.
You know,
gotcha.
well, I went to a Catholic school, obviously, all the way to Mizzou, right? And I remember in high school, obviously, with all the hormones popping off, on both sides of the
Boners left
equation
and
here.
right.
The boners, the girls wanting attention, all this
So
different
many
stuff.
tits
The
here.
Greg's
big
got a
thing with
boner
the
again.
girl. No, don't look at me. I'm trying to write
Every
the
time the wind
chalkboard.
blows, he cries and he gets a boner.
Even though yesterday I was at the supermarket in shorts, let me tell you, that was a close call because I got that chill and I was like, I'm going to have to shit. I got to get out of this goddamn, I got to get out of this supermarket. Anyways, in high school.
It's so weird.
I look over at Cool Greg, someone that I don't think knows that story, and I just see him trying to put it all together.
No.
And then he gives up. Then he's like, you know what? I don't
The
need
thing,
Greg.
the thing about Greg's story is even if you know the intimate details of it, it still makes no sense.
yeah, that's so true.
In
when
high
Greg
school-
gets cold, he needs to shit.
I got to chill. When I get to chill.
when he catches a draft,
When I get a
like
when I
for
get to chill.
instance, when you're looking at the deli meats in the supermarket
Yeah.
and the coldness from the
Yeah.
thing hits him.
It was hot outside yesterday. We all know it. We all know it. It was hot outside yesterday. I was out there. I took a walk with Jen. It was lovely. We went to the supermarket, and sure enough, I'm in that veggie aisle. Then I'm in that cheese aisle. I'm like, this is getting close. We are threading the needle here on what's going to have to happen inside of my body.
What do you think the chances are one day an old grandma comes around into the deli area and you're just shitting into one of the freezers?
Oh, it's like that one video video with the guy on the escalator. Did you see this video that went viral recently?
No.
There's a guy walking with shorts, and it's like, it's a surveillance video.
Yeah.
Kind of choppy, but there's a guy who's, the view is at the top of an escalator kind of pointed down. Guy walks up, and just out of his shorts, he kind of does one of those stretches, and just shit comes out of his pants. And then it fast forwards to like several minutes later, maybe another guy walking up and steps right in the shit and just like slips and like loses his footing, and he's just like holding himself there, like, what the fuck did I just slip on? And it's just like a smear on the ground.
That's
It was like, what is wrong with this guy?
horrible. That's
Who
horrible.
just shits near an escalator?
Every-
or just
every
Before we
homeless
get too far, I
person
want to
in
do
San
this because
Francisco.
Nick will enjoy this story. Because we were all in high school, right? But it was, high school, and they were very, Catholic school, of course, right? So, of course, it's all on the girls, right? Don't be tantalizing these boys. Don't be doing any of this stuff. And so girls, were always, they could only have their skirt 2 inches from their knee or
Isn't
something.
that hilarious?
Like
It was always like you have to shame the woman,
Yeah.
but they still have to wear skirts.
I remember being a
Like, you still have to wear the skirt. You just have to feel
I
guilty
remember
about wearing
being
the
a
skirt.
sophomore. No, it was a senior, I guess. And the girl next to me was a sophomore or a freshman. And I remember her in tears at her locker one day between classes, and her friends all gathered. And I was like, and we were not friends, but I was like, what is going on? And they were like, they're sending me home because my pants are too tight. And even as like a kid, I was like, that doesn't seem like the right move. Like, why are
Some
we-
injustice happened.
That happened a lot.
One of our it was one of our
few.
few out of uniform days, or what? I think it was even for like a school
Casual
mass.
Friday or
No,
something.
it was like everybody's in like dress clothes, and my pants are too tight. They're sending me home. I'm like, that's weird. Anyways, though, to this thing, had this class, geometry, hated it. Mrs. Kolazinski was the teacher. We did not get along. This is not story material you need to know. I've probably given you too much. Anyways, though, she was walking around, and like everybody's sitting there, but she was walking around, and she came up to one of the really popular girls, and she was just like, how long is your skirt? And she said whatever the actual code is, and I'll never forget this because it got the biggest laugh of the year. She goes, would you mind coming outside and bending over for me? And everybody lost their fucking mind because that was the way to test. Is that like
if
you
you
could
bent
use
over
a
and you
you
can
could
see
use
the
a
choke.
ruler, but they would take the girls out and line them up against the locker and have them bend over to see if the skirt would then show their underwear or
Man.
like too much thigh.
This is horrible.
How do you apply for that job?
God, Nick, no! They were children,
I wanted
Nick!
to move on. I wanted to transition.
Let's try to move before
You
Nick
know
said-
what?
No, he said it.
To clear our palates, let me tell you about our sponsors.
Oh my god.
This episode of the Kind of Funny podcast is brought to you by Quip. The best way to ease back into a routine is to start it up as soon as possible, and that's what Quip is great at. You know we all use Quip, the better electronic toothbrush. Here at Kind of Funny, the idea is simple. You sign up, they mail you a toothbrush. It vibrates for 2 minutes. Every 30 seconds it pulses, you move it to a different quadrant of your mouth, you get an even clean, and you brush for the full 2 minutes, which I did not realize I needed to do until we started using Quip, and now I love it. Quip, of course, comes with that little cover. It's a handle. It's like a stand you put it in, and it can stick to mirrors, but then when you go on the road like we are, when we go to London here in a second, you pop it off the mirror, you put it over, you put it in your travel bag, you're ready to go. And when you sign up at quip.com, of course, you get subscribed to get the brush heads delivered to you on a dentist-recommended 3-month period. It's great. They also have floss now. They also have their own toothpaste. It is amazing. That's why we all use Quip. That's why we love Quip. Quip is one of the first electric toothbrushes accepted by the American Dental Association. They're backed by over 25,000 dental professionals, and they have thousands of verified 5-star reviews. Be like Kind of Funny and use Quip. You should be going right now. It is perfect for getting into a routine. It's great for the holidays as a gift as well. Quip starts at just $25, and if you go to getquip.com/KF right now, you get your first refill pack for free. That's getquip.com/KF to get your first refill pack free. We're also brought to you by Felix Gray. You may not realize it, but the average American blasts their eyes with bright screens for 11 hours every day. When you consider how much your day revolves around devices, it doesn't seem so crazy. Today I've used my computer, my phone, Google Stadia, Xbox, xCloud. What's the other thing I was looking at? TV, of course. I'm looking at a lot of screens is basically what I'm saying. The fact is, we can't eliminate extensive screen time from our lives, but you can protect your eyes from it with a pair of Felix Gray blue light filtering glasses available in both non-prescription and prescription. The majority of Americans live with tired, dry eyes, blurry vision, or headaches caused by screens. If this sounds familiar, Felix Gray glasses are for you. Felix Gray glasses filter out 90% of high-energy blue light and eliminates 99% of glare coming from your daily barrage of screens. Unlike other blue light filtering glasses, Felix Gray uses proprietary blue light technology embedded into the lens as opposed to a cheap coating that it can easily chip or scratch over time. Felix Gray is on a mission to make fashionable, high-quality blue light protection widely accessible by offering a variety of frames for all face shapes and style preferences. Of course, I like the ones that look like mine. Just normal black glasses. You know what I mean? These aren't them. But like I have them over there. They're very normal because these are my prescription ones. They do prescriptions. I just haven't done it yet. Don't be like me. Go get them. Don't go another day looking at screens without the help of Felix Gray's. Go to felixgrayglasses.com/kinda for free shipping and 30 days of risk-free returns or exchanges. That's felixgrayglasses.com/kinda. felixgrayglasses.com/kinda. And our final sponsor of the day is Movement Watches. Can you believe it? The holidays are here again. Movement Watches have you covered this season with hundreds of watches, blue light glasses, sunnies, and jewelry styles to choose from. Stuff your stockings, impress your family, wow your partners, or treat yourself, because we know you're dressing up with the perfect gift. And Movement is making it easy. Beautiful curated gift boxes, his and her gift guides, and free and quick shipping right to your door for the holidays. You know, we have been with Movement a long time. The sunglasses you see me wear on vacation, Movement. The watch you see me wear when I'm marrying people and I want to look fancy, Movement. Movement is right there for you. You can get out there and get it. You get it directly to you. You cut out the middleman. It's great. And guess what? Like I've already said, the holidays are here. This is an easy way to get your gifts covered. Of course, Movement watches start at just $95. They have a clean design, minimal, and they really are quality products. Movement has sold over 2 million watches in over 160 countries. Be the big winner this holiday season with a gift from Movement. Get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to movement.com/kinda. Go to mvmt.com/kinda. Join the movement.
It was high school, right?
Yeah, it was high school. I mean, I was a senior, you know what I mean? So I mean,
whatever. That's so weird.
That's always the hardest thing about going back and having those stories now. I think we talked about this on another show, right? Where somebody described somebody from high school as hot. And everybody's like, whoa. And like, well, I was a child too. Like, or I was a crush when we were watching TV shows or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always make sure to say the point of like, I had such a crush on her when I was watching that movie as a kid.
Yeah, because you can't do it now.
You got to make that point.
Trust me. You
gotta make that point.
You got to.
Put the little point out there.
The asterisks. You know what I mean?
Put the pin on the map.
Put the pin on the map.
Put the pin on the map.
Yeah,
I've been here.
yeah,
Let's go there.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
visit.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go there one day.
Let's visit.
Party McFly writes in to patreon.com/kindafunny and says, your recent reviews of The Mandalorian had me wondering something. Not sure if you guys have talked about this on the channel before, but which medium do you think is better for telling a story, film or television? At its best, which, in your opinion, is more conducive to telling a quality story? A concise, structured, and polished 2-hour experience, or a series of episodes allowing for deeper characters and worlds? Thanks for all the wonderful content, and much love from Honolulu, Party McFly.
I want to jump in here and say that I'm really excited for the future, where it is somewhere in between with this whole streaming thing we got going on, because I do think that the 6 to 8 episode season of a show, maybe not even season, just like where we know it's going to be a one and done, that is the story. I think that is going to be the optimum storytelling.
So you're talking about like the
venue.
Marvel the shows, right?
Yes.
Okay, because those are like confirmed to be like one season.
Yeah.
All of them, or
All
most
of them so far.
Okay.
Yeah, but like that, we know it's going to be 6 episodes for those. I feel like getting that guaranteed somewhere between 3 and 6 hours of content, depending on how much, like 40 minutes or an hour or whatever. I feel like 6 hours of a story is like, you're really going to get a lot of ability to present the world, open up the rules, have some development, have some action, come to a resolution that feels
character
good.
arcs that feel fully realized and not
Yeah.
rushed.
Because that's the biggest problem, right? Is that when you're talking about a movie, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever, and 2.5 hours is getting up there, right? And The Irishman
movie.
being 3.5 hours. Like, it's so tough to get the characters, understand their motivations, do the thing. And I shouldn't say it's so hard, but it's so hard to do it right. You see people fuck that up all the time. Whereas the other side of it, hey, here's Daredevil. And you're like, man, a lot of these episodes are great. A lot of them are boring. Why are this many episodes? Why do you feel like you have to do this?
And I think this is especially true when we're talking about things that are new ideas, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like when we're adapting movie or comic books or this or that, it's like there's kind of like some knowledge going into it. Or
Sure.
like MCU is very specifically its own thing. Star Wars even is its own thing. But it's like if you're presenting a new IP entirely, I think that a 6-hour series is like
I would kill for a really high quality anime to be that short and concise not have
Drone on
28
and on
episodes
and on.
and there's 13 or 12 of them are filler. You know,
Yeah,
I can't stand that stuff.
Yeah, to me it's weird because I obviously love the movie format. I like sitting in a theater for 2.5 hours and just being given that nice pared down, low fat experience. Like just no fat on the bones whatsoever. Just give me the fucking story. Just went and saw Ford versus Ferrari.
How was that?
Over the weekend? It was good.
Looks good.
A bit long though, and a little campy at parts, but I enjoyed it, and I just think that story is fascinating to begin with. But I think I'm kind of with Tim where I think right now the sweet spot is that 4 to 6 episode series on Netflix. I just wonder why we still feel the need, especially when they put them all out, to have them have credits and be episodic. And I get that it sort of like makes sense to have a start to finish there, but you're still doing that like 40-minute long like story arc structure. And I just wonder if they'll ever screw around with doing something that's like an actual 5-hour long movie, where instead of having it, because like every episode of what you watch, whether you know it or not, it still has that 3-act structure where it's like something's happening and then there's a middle and then he goes, no, I'm gonna try to save the thing, and you're like, cool, that's the end, right? So it's so fascinating watching these movies that come to Netflix where it's like it is gonna be fascinating watching The Irishman. What's he gonna do with 3 hours? Is it gonna keep me going for 3 hours? And when you stretch out that the act structure, is that gonna be compelling, or is that just gonna be a lot of wasted space?
I think the thing with the credits too is like TV shows are still being the streaming shows are still being designed and produced like TV shows, which is there's usually a showrunner, but episode by episodes directed by different people. There are different people working on it. That's why there's different credits, right?
I get that, but just put all the credits at the end.
What if just make the showrunner
episode 1 directed by so and so, episode 2, the credits just seem like a weird relic. Like it's fine for when they're still rolling the show out, like Mandalorian, but like give me if the show's already done, like say 8 weeks from now, Mandalorian's done, right? It's out, season 1's out. Can you just give me the fucking cut that doesn't require me to pick up my controller and hit
just
the skip
chapters
button?
every time, like
just
one giant cut.
Chapter 2 done. And if you want to, if you're a smart human being, you want to pause it there. This is where you're gonna stop. Why does my TV need to tell me when to stop watching TV? I know I'm watching too much TV. I don't need a fucking reminder from you, Mr. Plasma.
Yeah,
that I've
fuck
watched
you,
too many
Plasma.
episodes. You know what the most insulting thing is? When it goes, "Are you still watching?"
Hey, you haven't moved anything in a while.
You haven't moved your foot in a while. Are you sure you want diabetes? Yeah, give it to me. Good.
I'm sure it's got to do with people maybe hitting data caps, or if they leave their shit running and stuff like that. It's just a common courtesy, I guess.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if the industry moves away from that format in like the next 10 to 20 years, right? Like when everything is just homogenized in streaming, when theaters finally have their last the last death throes and they die, and everything just comes straight to your fucking 90-inch TV. That's not a wall. They just build walls in houses with LED screens. Are we still going to have that episodic format? And how is that going to change the actual structure of the storytelling? It's going to be interesting. Because you also think because there's things like The Crown, right? Where I'm very excited to watch the next season of The Crown. But The Crown is less about what's happening. It's not about plot necessarily. It's just about what's happening in the characters' lives and how they're experiencing these historic things that are happening, right? And so it's more kind of experiential than it is okay, we have to go solve this. The fucking war's coming. We have to beat the war. It's more about there's a war happening and Churchill's now in place, but I'm the queen, and how do I react to all that stuff? And so I sit there, I'm like, I don't need this credit. I want to just watch this for 6 hours and just be in this world and be with these characters and live in their life for a little bit. I don't need you don't have to tell me Claire Foy's in it. I know it. She's in every episode.
So I don't think it's necessarily about the credits. That is an aspect of it, but I think it's more just about the way.
Well, it gives you a break point.
It's a break point where
absolutely.
it gives you the ability to walk away, but it also gives you the ability to remember where you're coming back to.
But I feel like Amazon does it right, where Netflix still gives you the 10 seconds, and Amazon's we have a lot of ground to make up. We only give you 1 second. You have 2.5 seconds to pick to stop the next episode before it just goes into the next thing. And I'm all for that.
I don't know if
Amazon.
I ever see the format change. I think it's too ingrained in filmmaking or whatever.
Well, it makes
some
sense
of it's
from
union too, right?
Well, some of it's from a production standpoint as well, where it behooves you, if you're making that much content, to break it down into those
bite-sized
those structures and the episodic nature. Because you have to have different directors. There's a reason why The Mandalorian had 4 different or 5 different directors.
A lot of lazy people.
Exactly. They don't work enough. But no, I mean, you have to have one director prepping while the other one's shooting, or two prepping while one's shooting, because that's just economical. So I understand why they write the way they write, but it's just with The Mandalorian, for instance, where one of the episodes is 30 minutes, you're those could be 2 episodes. That could be 1 episode. We could have 3. We could do what they do, what you're talking about in the UK, where it is when they did Sherlock season 1 and 2 and 3 or whatever, it was 3 2-hour-long episodes. And I was like, this is a really cool format, because you feel like you're watching a made-for-TV movie that's really high quality, but it's not broken up by commercials, and it doesn't break the world that's created in there. It doesn't take you out of it when you have to then hit a button and remind yourself that you're watching TV.
Yeah,
Maybe they were an hour.
I don't think
long
it's going to be
episode.
homogenized either, and I think that it's actually going to give us just more options. Like I feel like we're seeing it now with Disney Plus and Netflix of just binge or not binge. I want both to exist. Where I feel like look at what the content is and like what is the better delivery platform for that show to show, season to season, whatever it is, or is a movie better? Is it better to do 3 hours of one thing or a season of a show? The Politician comes to mind, where it's like that looks like one of the what we call shitty Netflix movies, but it's a season of a show, and it's like what is the better delivery platform for that type of content? I don't know, but I like that both exist even on the same platform.
For that one, it should have been a 2-hour-long movie because after 40 minutes of the first episode, I'm like, wow, I don't want to watch this anymore. But I may have thought about finishing it if it had a nice little wrap up.
Jen put it on out, and at one point I looked over. I'm like, "Is this a movie or a show?" She's like, "It's a show." I'm like, "How is it still going?"
I don't
You're
know.
like, "God
and
damn."
how has a bunch of stuff happened, but also nothing has
Nothing's
happened.
happened, huh?
Yeah, that show did not click for me.
No, I'm spoiled rotten. Obviously, I think we all are. With obviously the best time to be alive for the nerdy shit we like and all that crap. Not for like the world because everything's falling apart. But like outside of that, like I'm so like Mandalorian, Watchmen, all this shit. I'm just like, ugh. Why isn't this all out? I just want to watch it all
it
right
values
now.
it, man.
I don't think
No,
it does
doesn't.
though.
I like
because-
that experience of like
I'm gonna
getting
tell
in
you,
there and
Stranger
boom.
Things. Who's talking about Stranger Things?
mean,
No, I
the
know
next
the business
episode
aspect
comes
of it. I get the
Things
business
happened
part of it.
this year, and it's
But-
like it just feels like it just is so inconsequential. Whereas Game of Thrones is talked about, right? We're gonna remember.
Not in a great way.
It doesn't matter. Like it's about the content though. It's about like what the show is. It's
The
like
rollout.
imagine if it was good though. Imagine if it was as good as the rest of the seasons. You know what I mean?
I mean, I just don't care for the appointment viewing anymore. I just don't
Yeah.
like it. Like there's the problem is there's too much good content out there for me to remember that I should go back and watch the Great British Bake Off again. Like I eventually get around to it, but like it doesn't make it any more like the Great British Bake Off was the first show that I've watched on Netflix that's week to week rollout, and I was like, I don't like this. I really just want to watch the next episode of this. And then a week later, it takes the show away from being like, oh, I'm in this. I'm excited. I want to see who wins the next round to a week later, oh, should we watch that? Well, there's this other show we can watch. I don't know. And there's a debate, and I don't like that debate. It's the same with Watchmen, where I like Watchmen a lot, but am I really going to care about it? Like, am I still going to be in it as much as I was at episode 1 comes episode 7, which is like 3 weeks from now? I don't know. I'm already starting to lose steam on it.
Well, I think that's just how you feel about it. Like yesterday, it being Sunday at 2 p.m., I was like, "Fuck, I can't wait for Watchmen tonight." Like it was just something that I was super excited about, and I was anticipating watching it and then talking about it later on.
But if you had all 8 episodes of Watchmen right now, would you watch more than one tonight?
Yeah, selfishly. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Selfishly, I would love to watch them all right now.
I just think it's a better way.
Yeah,
with
but
something
I'm-
as complex as Watchmen, I forget what fucking happened, and they have to do the previous sound, which is fine. They do a capable job of that, but especially with like Game of Thrones, wouldn't it be so much nicer to watch every season like right as it's happening and get all of them out, so you don't have to remember who fucking Uwe Boll was in season whatever, or you know what I mean? I don't know. It's like it just.
I'm totally with you. I feel like I'm more invested in a show when I can watch it and
Way
marathon
more.
it. Like when I finally realized, and before the Emmys, not that I'm like fucking trying to be hipster about it, but like I had no idea what Fleabag was. Somebody mentioned Fleabag, and Jenna like, oh cool, 2 seasons of it, and we watched it all in a weekend. And it was like I remembered characters' names, relationships, where they were, what was going on, and it's not what you're talking about of like what turned me off to Game of Thrones in the beginning of like coming back week after week and be like, wait, what was that guy's name and where was this? And blah.
Yeah.
I was playing Overwatch over the weekend with Lucy James and Tamor.
Oh,
and
governor!
all we talked about was like theories of that's going to happen the next episode. And I love
that's
that.
cool. I'm not trying to take away from that.
For which?
For Watchmen.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
okay.
the water cooler experience. Like,
And
think
I
that's-
feel like it's not. I don't think every show should be week to week. I
Right.
don't think every show should be binge. I think that in the case of Watchmen, maybe it would be better to be binge. Whereas Game of Thrones, I definitely think week to week gave that show so much advantage because it gave you the time if you wanted to rewatch it, really understand who the characters are and all of that stuff. And it had the water cooler moments. Shows that have theories and stuff, which I haven't watched Watchmen, I imagine it is one of those shows.
Yeah.
Probably are benefited by the week to week to allow you to kind of have those discussions and like really consume the content, not just as something that is just disposable, but as something that you should sit with and think about. And I love Sundays. I'm getting Patriot Act. I know that, and it's exciting.
Well, that's different though. Like that. Well, I guess the Patriot Act's not different. I'm thinking John Oliver.
Because if they dropped Patriot Act and it was just like 10 episodes on one day, I'd watch them all in one day. I would, and I'd love it. It'd be awesome. But then
But
I
what
wouldn't
would-
have it for like.
Well, that's fair, but I mean, you could space that out. I mean,
I know, but, like-
Patriot Act's not one of those that's necessarily you have to watch. It's not so topical that you have to watch every single one as it goes. Like Patriot Act's one of those where I looked at it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch one today, and that was enough. I don't need all of them. That's so much information that I'm like, I want to digest that for a little bit.
It's weird. I just think certain shows, certain different genres of shows benefit from the week to week. Like you were mentioning British Break Off. Like for me, when I was dating my ex-girlfriend, it was like, let's binge that shit. Let's watch, and
it's so delightful.
And you just watch all of it.
But
I
think
watch 7 episodes and it's over, and it's like cool.
But I think Stranger Things could definitely have been week to week, and I think it would have been the same thing where everyone's in it for 8 weeks and we're all talking about it and a lot of cool stuff. But they made the smart choice of putting that out, and therefore, I watched it all. I watched that thing in like a day and a half. It was great. I just feel like that's the new thing. That's the thing that people can hope to just own a weekend or own a week of. You put a piece of content out and that's it.
I just feel like we're going to see this happening more and more. It's that there's a pressure for people to watch it in that first weekend, or else they don't watch it. And it's like it's spoiler territory, right?
Maybe, but
that.
there's also the virtue of then going back and being like, oh, I never watched Watchmen. Oh, they're all done. Cool, I'll watch them. Like I've never watched The Leftovers. There's a possibility I might go back, and if I like the first episode, I can watch the whole thing.
That's my argument even more for why I think it's going to happen. That the more shows that are out that people associate with streaming services, they're just going to be like, oh, well, I never watched Stranger Things. I can go back, and now it is all there. So it's not like binge stuff will always exist in the sense that once something's done, it becomes a binge show.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So just the release of binge when it first comes out, I think that more often than not, for the quality shows, week to week will help. Whereas for a lot of things that are a bit more disposable,
I'd be so interested to see how they decide which one's which.
Yeah.
It must be so interesting to be inside Netflix and be like, okay, what if we did this? And just see the results of like rolling out the Great British Bake Off as it's doing day and day with the show as it's being put out on the air on the BBC. I think it's a BBC show. I could be wrong. But I just think it's cool. And again, you raise a very good point, which is that like, hey, if you want to binge it, just wait 8 weeks. You know what I mean? But then you risk the spoiler territory of everyone, assholes like us, accidentally starting to talk about it like right at the top of the episode.
Yeah. But see, that's the problem though, is that happens if it's all released at once. The spoilers are all there, and it's all of the spoilers. It's not just episode 1 spoiler; it's episode 8 spoiler. And like, if you don't have free time, it's like you better cut off from the internet. Your problem. That's on you. But I don't enjoy that.
It's so hard because there are very few shows that are that good that can keep my attention for 8 weeks straight. I'm even starting to wane on Silicon Valley. I'm like, I like the show, but it was on last night. I could have watched it. I'm like, I'll wait. I'll just wait till there's a couple on my DVR, and it's possible that I won't go back. I mean, it's not highly possible, but I would say there's a 20% chance that I'm like, I don't really need to see how this show wraps up, But
Silicon Valley to me is one that could be either. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm in either way.
Yeah.
I watched last night.
Was it funny?
I watched last week and the week before too.
Yeah.
But if it was all out at once, I'd probably just watch that at my pace. But I also don't care about spoilers.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Really quick, just to give my quick perspective, I agree more with you. It's like it's based on like what the show is, that it should either be all at once or weekly. I prefer weekly just because it brings me back to like just being a kid, and we had our shows every day of the week of like, all right, tonight's like Fringe night, like let's sit down and just like watch Fringe and talk about it and shit like that. And I like that, like having a dedicated night for like one show where like, all right, tonight's The Good Place and tonight is this show. Or I even like that for the in review format, right? It's like, all right, tonight we're watching a Star Wars movie and we're gonna sit down and just like do that. I don't know, just the way.
Shout out to Fringe, man.
Shout out to that.
That show was way better than I think people give it credit for.
That first season was way better than people give it credit for.
First season was,
and then
I remember the first season being relatively good. I think I went back and like watched it randomly on demand. I think I came in like second season, and then I was like, cool. And then it kind of dipped a little bit. And I was like, do I want to keep watching Fringe? And then it kind of ended strong, and I was like, okay, thanks, Fringe.
I think
I
also just prefer
like fun. It was X-Files.
The week to week stuff. I think there's a lot less pressure on me to, because when I think about it, if Watchmen dropped all 8 episodes, it's like, fuck, I have to find 8 hours to watch all of these before it gets spoiled for me. And that's a lot of stress for me.
Not that worried about having things spoiled.
Yeah, that was the thing for me too, with especially even Watchmen, where I let them stack right for 4 weeks, I guess, or 5 weeks, including yesterday. And it was just like,
I'm 4 episodes in, and I can't think of anything that would be such a groundbreaking spoiler.
I'll tell you some spoilers. I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like if you were to tell me, oh, the so and so, so and so, so and so, I'd be like, cool. This is such a complex story that's way more about just how these characters are reacting to these events. That I don't know that.
I mean, plug and play any show though, not just
sure.
watch it. Like I'm thinking Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones. Like if Game of Thrones dropped 6 episodes all at once, I'd be like, fuck, I have to find
Taking the
free
day off work. We're doing this.
I need 6 free hours to watch this shit. You know, that's gonna. Well, I guess I could put maybe I could put 3 episodes here and then watch the other. Like, thinking about finding free time for that would kind of bum me out. That's why I appreciate. Oh, once a week, an hour, I'm good.
I feel that.
It's
I
not
mean,
a
I guess.
But
if
you
want,
say
if
that,
want
but you
the-
find those hours, right? Like when it does stuff happens. Like that's this is
Yeah,
again,
but it sucks.
I started it as selfishly, right? Like I'm so rarely in the mood to watch TV. Like I'd rather it be like appointment, event.
so cool.
Holy shit! Look at bam. There's this thing. Like when House of Cards wasn't a fucking huge fucking scandal. Like when House of Cards, I was like, fuck yeah! Like you know what I mean? Watch it all in a weekend. It was like a big deal that it was House of Cards weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
and
to
then
me,
move on to the next thing.
To me, I guess it's like sitting down and reading a really good book, where it's like I want to do it at my own pace. I want the story all together, and I want it to be there when I want it to be there. To me, that I like that. It's one of the reasons why I have a hard time getting through video games, is because I get so distanced from the actual what's going on with the story that I start to lose interest very, very quickly. Like I still haven't beat Fallen Order, and I should. I want to, but I'm like, I can't. What was happening? I'm looking
You
for
won't. You're a
something.
coward.
It's fine.
There's a big
but
toad. He's your enemy.
I don't want to bring that. I don't want to.
But the book thing's interesting though, because I feel like there's the other side that is like magazines, like
Sirens
video game
are on our
magazines,
end.
where it's like the excitement of waiting for the next one.
Yeah, but that's
What'll-
because you're previewing things that are to come. You're not getting a story element in those magazines. Unless
that's true,
Unless
but
I read Next Gen wrong.
But still, it's like whatever it is. I like the kind of the episodic thing of just
Sure. I mean,
something
look,
that you're looking forward to.
I look forward to going out and buying like nerdy film magazines every month just because I want to see what the newest article is. If I had 12 of them, I mean, I've had 12 of them stacked up. I don't read them.
Yeah.
I like the actual experience of getting that new thing. And sure, for some things, absolutely. I got no problem with it. Like again, like John Oliver, shows like that are super topical and talking to you about what's happening right now, those have to be week to week.
Of course,
Obviously.
yeah.
But that's a great experience with those things. I assume. I've never watched John Oliver. But I've watched shows like that before. So yeah, I mean, there's absolutely a format for that. And again, we're having a fun spirited debate, but if everyone were to go back to appointment viewing, I would figure it out. It's not I would just wait until they spooled up and watch them all. Or maybe I'd watch them week to week. It is nice having the option.
It depends if we were making content about them.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's why it's your motivator to keep watching The Mandalorian this way.
Which is actually kind of nice, to be honest, is that you guys get excited about it and then you want to talk about it. It's like, oh, I want to be a part of that conversation. So it's cool that you guys let me be on the show. But but I also, it is nice to be like, hey, we're going to talk about this tomorrow. Oh, I know all my friends are watching this thing tonight, and I'm going to get to come in and talk to them about it tomorrow. So that is really, really cool.
Yeah, and I like that. Like even not about content. Like I feel like that's like my friends. They're all. It reminds me of Game of Thrones, where it's like every week it was just like, oh man, Monday would come, the group text starts going off. Like oh shit.
It's weird that you don't like sports, because that's what sports are for.
Yeah.
Because sports, like games happen, and then you're supposed to talk to each other like the next day or some shit. I don't know. I don't watch them.
You watch
Yeah.
your UFCs?
I don't really watch UFC that much anymore. There's so many of them now.
Yeah.
I just read the recap and like maybe I'll
There's
try
so
to.
many UFC. It's like Desperate Housewives.
It's like two or three a month.
Not Desperate Housewives.
Because they do them on like ESPN and like
I didn't
Real
understand
Lives
that
of
for-
Real Housewives.
Yeah, that
there
makes more
could
sense.
never be too much Real Housewives. Those shows are like crack cocaine, so I've heard.
To close this out, Timothy,
Yes.
what are you downloading for your flight to London for our final stop on the 2019 World Tour?
I have Pokemon.
Yeah, of course.
The game.
Of course.
To play. Very excited about that. Otherwise, I like movies and stuff. I haven't really
What's your
thought too
plan-
much.
what's your plan
I'm gonna
plan?
go on Disney Plus and just
Yeah.
like download a bunch of random
Yeah.
stuff. But I don't know. I don't really.
'Cause
I have a
I'm-
lot of work to catch up on. I'm gonna do that.
Done.
Yeah.
It's vacation, man. Throw it away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Got a
Doesn't matter.
there's a bunch of musical albums that have come out recently that I want to partake in. So
like the
stoked
Partridge
about,
Family?
Stoked about that.
Have you
Need
listened
digs and then
to Leslie Odom Jr.'s
Leslie Odom Jr.?
Mister?
It's an amazing album. Greg
Yeah.
Miller, I think you would like it.
Leslie Odom Jr.?
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
one of the
Like,
original
quite a lot.
cast members of Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah,
He
it's
just
fun.
put out his debut album. It's debut, right?
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal.
Yeah. It's very different than what I think we expect of kind of that crew that came out from the Hamilton and like all that stuff, but it's really, really cool. I like
Okay.
What about you?
So I have the Switch. It's gonna be Switch and iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Switch will be loaded up with Pokemon. I held off on Link's Awakening for this flight, and then I have Return to the Obra Dinn on there. So those are the three I'm gonna limit myself to.
I'm so jealous of you right now.
Which one?
Link's Awakening.
Oh yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Okay, looking forward
Great
to
game.
it. I might have to come
Great-
back to your
perfect
row and
playing
ask
game.
you for puzzles.
Oh yeah, I know them all.
Nick, wake up. I'll try not to wake up Dio. Like, Nick, wake up.
Yeah, it's fine. She'll be awake.
And then iPad, of course. Nick, I need your help. The blood moon rises. iPad then will be a bunch of comic books, of course. You got a whole bunch of different stuff to catch up on there.
I'm so behind on comics that it's like I was like, man, I need. Chris Anka came and was like, oh, here's a bunch of Power Rangers comics that he did the art for.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking through it. I'm like, fuck, I'm so behind on this, but I want to catch up. But I'm like, it's too much. It's like, it's one of those things where it's overbearing, where I'm like, I should have been watching these season to season. I didn't. So now it's too much to binge.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to, I'm going to bring my iPad for the downloads for videos and stuff, but I don't even think I'm going to load it with the comics for this one.
Coward. And then the one I'm very excited for, because as you all know, I've begun falling in love with Star Wars, is that Andy, over on the Kind of Funny subreddit, a kid put up an image showing me what I need. Hey, you want to watch Clone Wars, but you don't want to watch all of Clone Wars? Here are the best arcs. Here,
it looked like here's how to build a nuclear bomb.
Exactly. I'm gonna go in tonight and start downloading and assembling that.
Can you do that on Disney Plus?
Yeah,
that's cool.
You can download
I
stuff.
might do some of that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What's your plan?
My plan is the same plan it always is, man. Just gonna go in blind and see what
Sit down with a bag of beef jerky, 12 hours.
Yeah, see what the entertainment gods have in store for me. Sometimes it's Endgame, probably gonna be Endgame again because that's been on there for like years. I don't know. I love just watching movies. So what I do sometimes is go on ahead of time and see if I can see what the movies are gonna be on United, and if there's like 5 or 6 of them that I haven't seen, because it's like a great opportunity to watch shit that I'm like, I don't want to pay for that, because there are always movies.
The Charlie's Angels of the world.
Well, perfect example. Right? Oh, that movie just came out.
It's going to be that Will Ferrell movie, and it's going to be silent on the plane. You're just going to hear.
One time I did that, Andy. And you have to admit, it was a funny movie. It was
Which movie was it?
I think it
the
was
Will Ferrell one where they break into they.
Oh, The House.
The House.
The House was
so
pretty funny.
funny.
The House was pretty
It's
funny.
Jason Matsukas, man. He's fucking hilarious. He's like,
He's great.
yeah, I'll probably just watch a bunch of movies.
Where the finger
I'll
gets
download
chopped
a bunch
off
of
or
shit.
whatever.
Yeah, he's like, okay, are you? He's like, trying
He's
not to
so
throw up.
good.
God, it's good.
And then Andy,
What's up?
what are you guys gonna do here? All next week, none of us are here. And granted, it's Thanksgiving, so a lot of us aren't here. Period. But like, this place is gonna be a ghost town. We're
gonna need a lot of good. We're gonna need a lot of good questions for the Kind of Funny podcast.
Yeah.
What crew do we got for the Kind of Funny podcast?
The Kind of Funny podcast next week will be me, Joey, and Cool Greg.
Holy shit!
Let's strap
That's
in.
a fucking podcast.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I'll be leaving Tuesday as well.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, it's upon us, which is hard to believe.
It is.
Where did this year go?
Jesus.
Gobbled
Christ.
up.
Right? Oh, God damn. You don't get credit enough.
It was
for it, you know?
it was
I think I do.
stuffed full.
Shut up,
Goodness.
Nick.
All
You
right.
shut
Yep.
up.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
that's Tim's thing.
Thanks.
Fuck off.
That's
Yeah.
Tim's thing.
Hold on. I just fucked off.
All right, good. Remember, of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you're
smells
watching
it.
this Friday when it went live on YouTube, we are in London to meet and
London,
greet
baby.
with you. You might say, how can I get tickets to that there Kind of Funny meet and greet? You can't. It's too late. You had your chance. You weren't good enough as a best friend. You weren't a good enough fan. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you can go to @MCFixer. I'm just going to say him. @MCFixer. Because, Mark Freeman's doing it too. But @MCFixer. Go there. He's put up a whole bunch of community things that are happening. I think it's Thursday through Monday. So if you are in town for the London meet and greet, there are a million different things you can do to go hang out with the Kind of Funny best friends and then come see us on Saturday. For the rest of you, this has been the Kind of Funny podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, each and every week, usually four best friends gather on this table, each bringing their lives to discuss with you. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindoffunny. You can get the show ad-free, live, pre and post shows tacked on, a whole bunch of different content options for you. You can be part of it too. If you don't want to give us any money though, no big deal. Each and every Friday, youtube.com/kindoffunny, roosterteeth.com, and podcast services around the globe. Podcast goes up. It has ads. It has no pre and post show. It is definitely not live. That's how it works. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you. Let's do a post show.
Post it up.
Post
below.
it up.